Okay. Hello and welcome to Conscious Living Collective. My name is Tomek. I'm a scientist, a teacher here on Insight Timer, and I'm very much looking forward to this session where we explore the fascinating intersection between science, mindfulness, and conscious living. But first of all, over the past couple of sessions, I had a trouble with the sound. So please let me know if you can hear me clearly. Could you hear the music? I really want to hear your feedback because I don't want to start. Okay, the sound is clear. Is that correct? Am I hearing it right? You are clear now. Okay, your words are clear. Beautiful. Well, like I said last session, I invested all this money into good microphone and good mixer so you can hear me good, because apparently the most important thing about me is my voice. So I want to deliver it with the most clear possible way. Good. Thank you so much. I already see your beautiful faces in the form of an icon floating under my screen. So awesome. Who's here? Seth, good to see you. Marcia, Jackie, Karen, Sandy, Janet, Lisa. Wonderful. Good bunch of people. Already 50 of us here. Oh, Diane. Hello. Hello, everyone. Normally, we start those sessions for those of you who are here for the first time by raising your hand. If you are here for the first time, please raise your virtual hand and let me know, because I want to extend a particularly warm welcome to our wonderful community of people. We meet once a week on most of the weeks, and we discuss topics that are very much related to our life. And we ponder upon topic of conscious living, how we can live a better, more fulfilled life. Awesome. I can see V, first timer, Jackie, Sandy, Daphne, Lori, Dolphin, Jake, Mary, V. Okay, V says hello. Definitely V. You are not the first timer here. Kevin, Sophia. Oh, amazing. Okay. If you are here for the first time, I can only assume that you're interested. Hello, Tosca. You are only interested in topic of rewiring your brain, and not rewiring your brain in any way, but for positive outcome. And this is something that I've been pondering upon for a long time. As a scientist, I'm very much interested not only in mindfulness itself, but also in science of mindfulness. I try to understand what is happening in our quote-unquote heads, in our minds, in our bodies during when we are mindful, and what is happening where we are not. Obviously, mindfulness is much greater than the topic of our physical body. But at the same time, our physical body is the temporary vessel of our consciousness. And us as a consciousness expressing ourselves through the means of the physical body. And I think this is very important. And if you look how complex, how wonderfully and beautifully complex our bodies are, and all the stimuli that you receive through our five physical senses, there must be something important happening here. And I think for the past, I would say, couple of decades, one of the hottest topics that connects science and mindfulness is the topic of neuroplasticity. Please let me know. Raise your hand once again if you know what neuroplasticity is. Or perhaps there are some of you that require a further explanation. But just by the raise of hand, who knows what neuroplasticity is? Okay. Jackie, Nina, Donna, Marcia, Dolphin, Jamie. Okay, beautiful. Lisa needs an explanation. Well, I'll explain regardless, but I just wanted to find out what depth of explanation you guys require. So neuroplasticity, until pretty much, 1970s, maybe earlier, scientists assumed that what you come with, what you get. So your brain develops until the age of 25, roughly, and after that, that's it. So until then, we assume that you develop to a certain stage, and then basically all the traits, all the talents, whatever you've got, that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna work with for the rest of your life. And then this massive revolution came that scientists discovered neurogenesis, which is the creation of the neurons past the developmental state, and all things changed. It turns out that actually our brain is very malleable, very flexible. That's why neuroplasticity is very plastic. That indicates the fact that we can change it. And as a matter of fact, something that I mentioned at the very beginning of this talk is that not only that brain changes, but important is if the brain changes in a way that we want it to change. And this is a big if. Because we are creatures, if you look at the body, we are like most of the creatures, most of the animals, come with a preloaded software, preloaded scripts and algorithms that I call some of them instincts. And a lot of behaviors that we exhibit, it's basically a manifestation of those instincts. But if you are here and you look at the technology that we developed, if you look at your life, we certainly, as a species on this planet, one thing that makes us different from any other species is that we do not rely purely on our instincts. If you look at what we created in this world, I'm talking about the positive things, architecture, art, music. That is not simply to fulfill the instinct of survival. There's so much more about us. So it is very natural to want fulfillment in our life, not just survival. And that's where the neuroplasticity comes very handy. Because in a sense, we do come in a kind of preloaded software. But past the developmental stage, when we become more and more conscious, when we mature, we begin to be more in charge of our decisions. So we think. And that's where the neuroplasticity comes handy. The term I discovered when researching and preparing for this topic is term of sculpturing neural landscape. I really like this definition of neuroplasticity. We have the ability to sculpture our neural landscape. And even though until recently it was believed that we have no way of doing it, indeed we do. Through choosing right behaviors, through mindfulness practices, through connection with nature, through cultivating conscious relationships, and so on and so forth. And on that very topic, I just want to let you know, I released a new course on the Insight Timer that now you can have access to that talks about 6 pillars of conscious living, which is essentially methods of not only conscious living, but choosing the pathways that are beneficial to a conscious living, are more beneficial and help us to live more happy, more fulfilled life. And that's the outcome that we want, right? We don't want just our brain to be shaped by instincts. We want our brain and our neural pathways, our neural landscape to be shaped in a way that is beneficial to us. It's beneficial to what we do. It's beneficial to our talents. And that's altogether another story, which I want to share with you today. So the brain plasticity starts with a question that our brain changes as we speak. The question that follows is our brain changing according to what we want? Or is our brain changing towards pre-written software, scripts, or instincts? And now the next question that poses how we can change our brain in the way that is positive. And this is the topic of today. So we already know that the mindfulness and meditation are very important tool in shaping our life the way we want. However, what I have noticed after practicing mindfulness for 15 plus years, that even though I sit into meditation with a very good intention of becoming calm and settled and centered, I very often find that actually the result I'm getting is the exactly opposite. The result is that of anxiety, stress, even more arousal. In a sense, what I bring into meditation, that I saw in meditation. And I've been interested in finding ways, first of all, understanding why this happens. And second of all, finding a ways of working with my body and mind so I have more say about what emotions I feel, how I feel them, asking questions like, are they beneficial to what I want to achieve? And in that very moment, I noticed that mindfulness, it's not the only answer to our fulfillment and our well-being. And that restructuring of our brain, the neuroplasticity, sculpturing of our neural landscape does not only happen in the mindfulness practice. It happens through understanding how your body works. And as a scientist, when I started researching, started being interested in neuroscience and how our brain, and actually not brain, but our nervous system works, I discovered that there are some states of our nervous system that are much more desirable than the others. And we all are interested, well, the topic of today's talk is to how to rewire your brain for positive outcomes. And now I want to ask you, when you feel depressed, when you feel stressed or anxious, when you are in a state of panic, would that be a good time to start rewiring your brain? Well, it didn't work for me. If it did work for you, please raise your hand. I would love to talk to you. But I found that there are only certain states in which I can really have influence on my life. And other states, usually, well, nothing works. When I'm stressed and anxious, mindfulness doesn't work. My physical activity doesn't work. Connecting with others, well, not that doesn't work. Most of the time when I feel anxious, depressed, and stressed, I do not want to talk to anyone. I'd rather stay on my own, isolate myself, which, by the way, is one of the symptoms of when you might feel this way. This is the first symptom of something is maybe not optimal. Maybe I'm not in a super harmonious state. So we have to, in order to rewire our brain for positive outcomes, we start thinking about when is a good time to start doing this work. And one of the techniques I discovered has nothing really to do with meditation, but has a lot to do with mindfulness. I call this technique heart-centered breathing. Okay? And why it's heart-centered? Well, because we focus on our heart during this exercise. And I explain maybe why this is important. So in the state when our body and mind are in disharmony, when they're incoherent, changing your brain is not only difficult, but it's impossible. Very much in those times, we are falling back on a certain set points that are written according to our instincts. So if we want to consider changing our brain for positive outcome, we have to start with changing our physiology from the state of stress, anxiety, sadness, and so on and so forth, into a state of harmony, or as science calls it, coherence. And what does it really mean? There's a harmony, there's a balance in our body. There is a state in which we feel, well, some people use the word grounded or centered. And how we can achieve it? This is one of the ways, particularly in the field of meditation. Heart-centered breathing. How it goes? You simply can do this exercise right now with your eyes open. You start connecting with your breath. Start taking a bit deeper than usual breaths. Slower. And if you feel any of those emotions and states that I described, whether it's a stress, anxiety, suboptimal state, you will find a bit of a tension. Somewhere in your belly, maybe in your throat, maybe in your chest. So through that deeper breathing, what we try to achieve is to, first of all, relax those tense muscles. When you breathe in deeply, you see how the muscles around your rib cage work. So your rib cage can expand. And when you exhale, muscles naturally relax. So they flex and then they relax. They flex and they relax. And this is the way that slowing down your breathing, it's an excellent way of communicating with your nervous system that everything is all right. You are not in danger. Things are okay. Something that your body does not necessarily recognize, because let me tell you, in the era when we are overstimulated all the time, when we are spending time on our screen, our brain is actually shouting. Our brain is shouting stimulation, activity, stress, anxiety, overstimulation. So in order to send a different message to our nervous system, we cannot simply communicate it by saying, standing in front of the mirror, things are all right. We have to find a better way of communication, and that is by taking a couple of breaths. Taking a couple of deep breaths is the way of sending a message to your autonomous nervous system. I am okay. And what you will find as you continue breathing, that your heart starts slowing down. If you could connect a heart rhythm monitor to you during that time, you will find that your heart rhythm would go from that, again, this harmonious, jagged line to something more like a sine wave. Just up and down, up and down. And that's what that breathing represents. Harmonious, calm, centered breathing. And once you communicate that to your nervous system, both the neurons that are in your brain and the neurons that are around your heart start communicating. Right? So neuroplasticity is not only, and this is something that not everybody knows, I think, is that neuroplasticity is not only about neurons in your brain, but it's about your entire nervous system and the communication between neurons of your entire system. And now we know, science tells us that that brain is not the only place where neurons are. As a matter of fact, you have extensive neural network around your heart, an extensive neural network around your belly or around your gut. And all those systems are in the state of constant communication. So when we are set state of stress, in the state of disharmony, when we're not centered, the communication between all those systems are being disrupted. The emphasis is mostly on survival. Again, we're running those scripts, the survival scripts that I talk about. And that is suboptimal state in which rewiring your brain for positive or rewiring your neurons for positive outcome is much more difficult, if not impossible. One thing that science teaches us that in the state that we mostly habitually stay in, right, the state of stress and arousal, the access to the prefrontal cortex, prefrontal cortex is that walnut-shaped structure in your brain that you usually see on the pictures, that it's only evolutionary, is the last evolutionary development. That's the part of the brain where all the emotion sits. That's where the centers for processing all those emotions that distinguish us as humans from other species sit. So when we lose ability to abundantly connect with those emotions through this part of the brain, we lose effectively ability to rewire ourselves to positive outcomes. Those outcomes, once again, will be related mostly to our survival and not to us thriving. And thriving is really, it's a word that I really enjoy, because it represents guys, just a confirmation that you can guys all hear me and see me. I got some message telling me that yes, we can. Okay, thank you guys. Because I've been here on the run for a good, thank you guys, for a good couple of minutes, and I thought that for a second I panicked. There you go. I went into stressful mode that you cannot hear me. So anyway, coming back once again. So all these, when it comes to rewiring brain for the positive outcome, we have to consider a physiological state in which our body and mind, or our entire nervous system and circulatory system and digestive systems, are in this state of coherence, in this state of harmony. And even though obviously on this platform, Inside Time and Mindfulness, it's one of the most important topics, there are many different ways of doing it. That technique that we will practice, by the way, at the end of the session. If you wonder, in a couple of minutes when I finish my talk, we will jump into meditation, and you'll be able to see for yourself how it works and how you feel. Your emotions will be the indication whether that coherent technique works or not. You'll be able to see for yourself how this works in practice. Because the more time we spend in the coherent state, the more chances we have of actually building in or sculpturing these neural pathways in a way that we desire. So a couple of words that really resonate with me when it comes to rewiring your brain is, first of all, putting yourself in the state of coherence. When you get access to the moments, when you have access to those neural networks, and your ability of changing those neural pathways is much greater than moments of stress. Perhaps, only perhaps, that is the reason why hypnosis is such an effective way of changing a lot of behaviors and habits that we are in. If you think about hypnosis, what really is hypnosis? And by the way, there's no such thing as someone hypnotizing you. Every hypnosis is self-hypnosis. But one of the important characteristics of hypnosis is that the person that helps us hypnotize ourselves is putting us in a very relaxed state. And from the scientific point of view, the relaxed state that hypnotist describes is the state of coherence, where all the systems in your body work in harmony. Because only then, in that state of very deep relaxation, whatever you want to work with, it's finally being start being heard by your brain and by your body. When you tense and aroused, the ears, quote unquote, the ears of your nervous system and your brain and your heart and your gut are closed. When you relax, however, that's where all of those communication channels open and coming back. So that's the good time to start rewiring your, again, brain as the entire nervous system for positive outcome can happen more effectively. But again, mindfulness, it's only one step. Other things, by the way, that I talk about in my course is things like movement. It is important how we eat, so nutrition. It's important how we sleep. So there are many aspects that actually fill up the picture to allow us to really sculpture the neural landscape in the way we want. Are there any questions so far, regardless of the topic? Because I've been talking for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes now. And I think that's enough information for now. Any questions that come to mind? By the way, it's very nice to see such a lovely crowd. There are over 100 of us from around the world. I can see many familiar faces. I can see many people that I see for the first time. So very good to see you all. Oh yeah, I was talking also about the words that really inspire me to rewire my brain. I've written them down. One of them is intentionality. The other is perseverance. The other one is commitment to self-care. One of the things I didn't mention so far is that even though there are certain moments where our ability to rewire or change our brain is more than the others, this is a process, and this process takes time. And this is very difficult to achieve in times when we are used to instant gratification. We are used to flipping to the right or to the left and seeing result instantaneously. Our brain, unfortunately, doesn't work this way. Now, our nervous system doesn't work this way. It takes time and effort to get to those changes. That's why I would say that mindfulness journey, it's never a sprint, it's a marathon, and we have to take it easy. We have to have patience in this process. Having said that, that time starts now. You don't have to wait until end of the session to start, changing your life. You're changing your life right now. You already took one important decision to listen to this talk, which tells me that you're interested in this topic of not only changing your life, but changing your life in a way that's beneficial to you. Isadora asks, speaking of words, what do you think of mantras? I have quite a few meditations that use mantra, and mantra, the definition of mantra I like is that the word mantra comes from Sanskrit, and it's a compound word, and there are a couple of definitions, and people translate the word mantra in different ways. But the way I like it is the compound word consists of two words, man and tra. Man means tool, and tra means mind. So mantra means tool for the mind. So in that sense, I really love using mantras as a tool for the mind. Tools that help me to come into the present moment, help me come into the state of coherence from which I have better control of my life, and I have better ability to decide what's happening in my life. So I hope that helps. All right, guys, we are coming to the half an hour of the session, and I want to be respectful of your time. So let's right now jump into meditation so we can practice that heart-centered breathing. And there are a couple of other elements I want to include this meditation. So I'm going to put my big headphones, and I'm going to start by playing you some very relaxing music that we're going to engage all the senses. And please let me know if you can hear the music. I'm going to switch the screen so you don't have to look at me. You can look at this beautiful landscape. So the music that you are hearing is one of us from Inside Timer, Philip Wilkerson, a wonderful composer from Virginia, I believe. And this piece is called Equanimity, and you can find it on Inside Timer. So I'm going to adjust my chair so I can make myself comfortable. And as with every meditation, we begin where we are. We recognize the isness of things. Diane says, can't hear the music very well. Actually, I can't hear it either. Hold on. There you go. That's not the technical issue. Guys, I really apologize. There'll be no music then. I can see what the problem is, but I won't be able to fix it now. So maybe for the next time, I will try to solve all the technical issues. But I hope this won't be too much of a problem. If you can't hear music, then I don't need my headphones to meditate with you today. Because I realized I was hearing music from my iPad. It wasn't passed on to the device. So anyway, we start where we are. We recognize the beauty of our body and mind. That is expression of our consciousness. We recognize its potential to explore physical world. And we want to express gratitude for this possibility, for this opportunity. Usually I allow my eyes to close, simply to move my attention from the external source to the internal source, from exteroception to interoception. When I'm more attuned to the internal landscape. And as we already started this session, I want you once again to connect with your breathing. Before you change the rhythm of your breath in any way, recognize its natural pace. I want to invite you to, for the purpose of this meditation, to breathe in and out through your nose, if possible. Rest your tongue behind your two top teeth. And make sure that your jaw is relaxed. Notice that every time your mind wanders, your jaw clenches a bit. Muscles in your jaw contract. So in the same way as focusing on the breath is a way of communicating with your nervous system that everything's all right, another very effective way of sending the same message to your nervous system is by relaxing your jaw intentionally. So relaxed jaw, connected with your breath. And now begin directing your breath through the center of your heart, or middle of your chest, if you will. Breathing into your chest, breathing out to your chest, from your chest. And when you establish this connection, you may intentionally start slowing down, taking slower and deeper breaths. Find a rhythm that it's comfortable to you, but as a reference, the rhythm when you count to 5 on the in-breath and count to 5 on the out-breath, it's approximately the pace at which we are looking at. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. You may count faster or slower in your head, depends on the ability to slow down your breath. And continue establishing that connection with the rhythm of your breath and heart-centered breathing. Breathing in and out through your heart. Deeply and slowly. And at some point, your mind will wander, as it does during meditations. And when that happens, before you redirect your attention back to your breath, I want you to check in with your jaw again and see if your jaw is still relaxed. And what you will find, what I usually find, is that during that process of mind wandering, my jaw tensed up again. So I recheck with my tongue, put it back behind the two top teeth, and relax my jaw. Make it go limp. And then I reconnect with my breath. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also what helps me to maintain that rhythm is to imagine that my heart aligns with the sine rhythm. There's an up on your in-breath and down the valley on the out-breath. Harmonious sine wave that communicates peace, calm, and coherence to your brain, to your heart, to your belly, to your entire self. And very often, even within 10 or 20 mindful breaths, you will notice that your body is in a more relaxed, more at peace state. There's a quality of softness. The edges that a moment ago were sharp are maybe a bit softer. The tension in your shoulders that you could detect at the beginning maybe dissipated a bit. So keep breathing. And if you found a bit of stillness and calm, you may add a heartwarm feeling of this state and start being aware of that as you breathe in and breathe out through your heart. Recognize how pleasant this process is. And if your nervous system still didn't get the message, that's okay too. In this case, just continue breathing. Continue communicating to your nervous system that everything is okay. Some of us are more stubborn than the others. And my nervous system usually takes a bit longer to calm down because of the nature of my mind. But if I repeat the message for long enough, sure enough, it will receive it. And with come back to the state of coherence or harmony. So now to wrap this up, simply take one deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you're ready, open your eyes and welcome back. Here we are. Okay. So, in one word, how would you describe your state right now? I'll be curious to know. I'm going to start with myself. I'm not going to type it. I'm going to say it. At peace. Now that's 2 words. Okay, you can be 2 words. Diane relaxed, Janet calm, Josie calm, Cream relaxed, Karen relaxed, Nina calm, Avi calm, peaceful, Connie peaceful, Amanda more relaxed. Good. Like I said, it's not always we gonna get to the most relaxed state, but we definitely on the way. Dolphin peaceful, Lexi calm. So this is the example when I would assess right now, Beck feels validated. That's a very good one. Gaston relaxed. Sharon calm as well. Nice. Thanks, Sharon, for joining in. When I would assess right now the state of me, dropping all those, the words like whether it's my nervous system, whether it's brain or heart or body, but general well-being, I would say that I'm more open. So if someone now asks me to do something or to change something, I'm much more prone to take this advice and make the right decisions. And that's what, in a nutshell, I was talking about throughout this talk. In the state of coherence, when your body and mind are relaxed and ease, which again is metaphor for, or it's the scientific jargon for that, is the state of coherence. Our brain is more ready it's more plastic, it's more malleable, as opposed to state of stress and anxiety, the habitual state that we take as normal. You see, even my voice changed. At the beginning of this session, my voice was kind of here, and now it's more here. You see it, I'm pointing towards my chest. It's coming from a different place, and I really hope that you feel a difference. So check for yourself. Are you more ready to implement positive changes right now as opposed to before the meditation? And again, this is just one session. Now imagine living in this state of coherence for extended periods of time. Your behaviors, your decisions, your actions would come from, as I said, a very different place. Even for me, not from here, but from here. And again, it just makes sense to me. Oh, there we go. We have some thumbs up showing up. Oh, by the way, just maybe as amusement, I think I'm able, because of the AI, do things like that. I hope you can see it. I know there's a very fun effects that the new AI technology allows me to do, and new cameras. By the way, guys, thank you so much for your support and all your donations. I didn't even mention them during this session because they are not the most important thing, but I do appreciate them. Every support that you show me is valued, and I want to express my gratitude for it. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you so much, Seth. Yeah, so this is, as I said, it's a process. It's not a sprint, but it's a marathon. And we want to bring those techniques on a daily basis and more than once a day. And something I want to mention is that the heart-centered breathing, even though we did an extended version, oh, there you go, thumbs up again. Even though we did an extended version of this in this meditation, it can take as little as 30 seconds. It's 2 deeper heart-centered breaths when you feel out of sorts. That's a scientific term for saying that you imbalanced. When you feel out of sorts, begin by that intentional, mindful, heart-centered breath. And when you train yourself in coming back to this state of coherence this way, over time, your nervous system starts responding much quicker. When you do it for the first time, maybe you need 10 minutes. When you do it the second time, again, maybe 10 minutes. But I promise, if you would do it not continuously, a few times every day for a period of 3 weeks, at the end of those 3 weeks, the moment you start taking your first breath, your nervous system is message received. I can hear you. I'm slowing down. And that's what neuroplasticity is. Over a longer period of time, you start rewiring your brain in the way you want. It takes commitment. It takes persistence. It takes intention, but it works. And that's what we learn from neuroscience. Repetition, persistence creates resilience to your brain, helps you make better decisions, helps you to rewire your brain for positive change, not just any change. Change that you desire, the change that you want. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your time and all your comments. It was really a blast. I had a blast being with you. Please do check my course because it is there for you. It's called 6 Pillars of Conscious Living. This course talks about many more methods of coming back to the present moment and aligning yourself with your true self. That's another more poetic way of going into the state of coherence. Josie, thank you so much. Go and check it out. We have entire virtual classroom when you can ask questions. I answer those questions in through kind of a voicemail. I can record the questions. I can record the answers to you. So please take advantage of it. Go there, and hopefully we can continue this conversation. It's not just one-off. It's the process. So let's continue this process together. Doing things together is always easier. That's why I call this not Conscious Living Tomek. I call it Conscious Living Collective. It's not going to happen without you. So once again, thank you so much, guys. I look forward to seeing you next week. Go and check my profile inside Timer. That's where all the announcements are. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful day. Depends on where you are. And until then, bye-bye.